The command deck of the warship Eternal Dominion hummed with quiet efficiency. Fleet Commander Zekthon stood before the massive viewing screen, his four eyes fixed on the small blue planet rotating slowly in the display. Earth. Such an insignificant name for what would soon become another jewel in the Confederation's crown. Status report. Zekthon commanded, his translator converting his clicks and whistles into standard Confederation speech. His second officer, a tall reptilian named Vosh, manipulated the holographic controls. 500 warships in formation, Commander. All weapons charged. Planetary scans complete. Zekthon studied the data streaming across his vision. The planet called Earth orbited an average yellow star in an unremarkable spiral arm of the galaxy. The inhabitants, humans they called themselves, had barely ventured beyond their own moon. Their technology was primitive. Chemical rockets, nuclear fission, radio waves. They had not even discovered faster-than-light travel. Pathetic, muttered Zekthon. Remind me why we are bringing 500 ships to conquer one backward world? Vosh highlighted a star map. The location, Commander. This system sits at a natural gravity confluence. With proper gate construction, it becomes a hub for 7 different sectors. The Supreme Council considers it strategically vital. Zekthon clicked his mandibles in understanding. The Confederation had conquered 217 worlds over the past 3 centuries. They had learned to identify valuable real estate. This star system, regardless of its primitive inhabitants, was prime territory. What do we know about the humans? Zekthon asked. A science officer named Thelra activated another display. They are divided into hundreds of competing nations. Constant warfare among themselves. Their broadcasts show pollution, resource depletion, political chaos. They are self-destructive and disorganized. Zekthon watched video feeds pulled from human satellites. Cities burning, soldiers fighting, politicians shouting at each other. Weapons tests, nuclear explosions. These humans seemed determined to destroy themselves before the Confederation could even arrive. Have they detected our fleet? Zekthon asked. Negative, Commander. Our stealth fields remain active. We are still 3 light days from their planet. Excellent. Zekthon settled into his command throne. Prepare the standard surrender demand. Translate it into their dominant languages. Give them 1 planetary rotation to comply. The communications officer worked quickly. Within moments, the message was prepared. Zekthon reviewed it with satisfaction. Surrender immediately. Submit to Confederation authority. Resistance would mean extinction. Standard procedure. Most species surrendered after seeing the size of the invasion fleet. Transmit. Zekthon ordered. The message shot through space toward Earth. Zekthon expected a response within hours. Panic. Desperate pleas for mercy. Perhaps foolish defiance followed by quick capitulation. He had seen it all before. The response came in 30 seconds. Commander. The communications officer's voice carried surprise. We have received a reply. Impossible. The transmission time alone should take. The message reads, acknowledged, single word. Sent in perfect Zalthari high dialect. Silence fell across the command deck. Zalthari was Zekthon's native language. It was not part of the translation package sent to Earth. The humans should not know it. Could not know it. Translation error? Zekthon suggested. The communications officer shook her head. No, Commander. The grammar is flawless. Native-level fluency. And the response was instantaneous. They replied before our message could have reached them through normal space. Vosh moved closer to Zekthon. Commander, that suggests they detected our fleet before we transmitted. That they knew we were coming. Ridiculous, Zekthon snapped. Their sensors are primitive. We are still beyond their detection range by light years, but doubt crept into his mind. He studied the blue planet again. It looked peaceful, defenseless. Exactly as the intelligence report suggested. Scan the system edges, Zekthon ordered. Full spectrum. Look for anomalies. The science teams worked quickly. After several minutes, Thelra reported. Commander, we are detecting ghost signatures. Brief energy spikes that disappear when we focus sensors on them. They appear random, probably solar interference or instrument errors. How many ghost signatures? Difficult to say. Perhaps dozens, perhaps hundreds. They vanished too quickly to track. Zekthon felt something he rarely experienced. Uncertainty. He had conquered worlds before. This should be routine, yet something felt wrong. Maintain formation, he ordered. Advance to Earth orbit, but keep all weapons charged and shields at maximum. The fleet moved forward like a massive predator approaching its prey. Ships stretched for thousands of kilometers in every direction. Their hulls gleamed with deadly intent. No primitive species could stand against such power. As they crossed the orbit of the planet the humans called Mars, Zekthon noticed his tactical officer studying something intently. "What is it?" Zekthon demanded. "The planet ahead, Commander." "Mars. Our initial scan showed it was barren, dead for billions of years. And there are structures on the surface, small, easy to miss in the red dust. But they are definitely artificial. And recent." Zekthon zoomed in on Mars. There, barely visible, he saw what looked like research stations. Mining operations, all abandoned, or apparently abandoned. "When were these built?" Zekthon asked. "Unknown, Commander. They do not appear in our intelligence reports from 5 years ago." 5 years. The humans had no faster-than-light travel 5 years ago. They still should not have it now. Yet someone had built those bases. Someone had been working on Mars. "Continue to Earth," Zekthon ordered, but his confidence wavered. The fleet approached the blue planet. No defensive fire greeted them. No ships rose to challenge them. Earth hung in space like a ripe fruit waiting to be plucked. Too easy, Zekthon thought. This is too easy. "Deploy scout ships," he commanded. "Full sensor sweeps of the planet and surrounding space. I want to know everything before we begin orbital strikes." As the scouts launched, Zekthon stared at Earth. The planet looked beautiful, peaceful, vulnerable. But somewhere in the back of his mind, instinct whispered a warning. Predators evolved to recognize traps, and every sense Zekthon possessed suddenly screamed that he was walking into one. "Commander," Vosh said quietly, "should we proceed?" Zekthon watched the blue planet rotate. After a long moment he responded, "Yes, but carefully." Very carefully. The Confederation fleet entered Earth orbit without resistance. Zekthon watched his tactical displays with growing confusion. Where were the defenses? Where were the desperate last-minute weapons? Even the most primitive species usually fired something. "Planetary scan complete," Thelra announced. "Major population centers identified. New York, Beijing, London, Moscow, Tokyo, all have significant infrastructure. Life signs?" Zekthon asked. Thelra hesitated. "Lower than expected, Commander. Much lower. These cities should house millions. We are reading hundreds of thousands at most." Vosh leaned over the display. "Perhaps they evacuated. But where would they go?" "It does not matter," Zekthon decided. "We proceed with standard protocol. Target the 5 largest cities. Orbital bombardment. Precision strikes. Show them the cost of resistance." The weapons officers prepared the strike. Massive energy cannons on 50 ships locked onto the selected targets. Zekthon gave the order. Fire. Brilliant beams of concentrated energy lanced down from orbit. They struck New York, Beijing, London, Moscow, and Tokyo simultaneously. The cities erupted in light, but something was wrong. The explosions were too large, too violent. The energy signatures were wrong. "Commander," Thelra shouted. Those were not conventional explosions. The cities were rigged with antimatter charges. They detonated outward. Zekthon watched in horror as the massive explosions tore upward from Earth. They were not defensive weapons. They were traps. Preset to detonate when hit. The shock waves slammed into the lowest Confederation ships, overwhelming their shields. 15 vessels went dark immediately. Their crews dead. Their systems fried. "Evasive maneuvers," Zekthon commanded. "Pull back to high orbit." As the fleet scrambled to retreat, new warnings flooded the tactical display. "Commander," multiple power signatures activating throughout the system. Zekthon spun toward the long-range sensors. At Jupiter, one of the planet's moons suddenly blazed with energy. No, not a moon. A station. A massive battle station disguised as a natural satellite. Its surface split apart, revealing launch bays and weapon emplacements. At Saturn, 3 more moons did the same. "Those are not moons," Vosh whispered. "Those are fortresses." Thousands of small craft began pouring from the hidden stations. They moved with precision and speed. Fighter craft, interceptors, bombers, all bearing down on the Confederation fleet. "How is this possible?" Zekthon demanded. "They have no space fleet." "Our intelligence confirmed." "Sir, our intelligence was wrong," Thelra interrupted. "We are detecting massive energy signatures all around us. Ships decloaking. Hundreds of them. Thousands." The viewing screen filled with vessels. Human vessels. They appeared from nowhere, their stealth fields dropping away. They surrounded the Confederation fleet completely. Their hulls were sleek and deadly. Their weapons were already charging. Zekthon's blood ran cold. He had walked his entire fleet into a trap. A communication signal cut through the chaos. A human face appeared on screen, female, middle-aged, wearing a military uniform. Her eyes were calm, confident. "Confederation fleet," she said in perfect Zalthari. "I am Admiral Sarah Chen of the United Human Naval Service. You are surrounded. Your ships are outmatched and outnumbered. I recommend immediate surrender." "Impossible," Zekthon snarled. "You have no faster-than-light technology. No space fleet." "You are primitive," Admiral Chen smiled. It was not a friendly expression. "Commander Zekthon," she said, using his name. "We have had faster-than-light travel for 80 years. We have been watching you for 70. We know your language, your tactics, your technology. We know everything about you." The screen split, showing images. Human colony ships disguised as asteroids, human settlements on distant worlds, human spies walking among Confederation species, indistinguishable from natives, human traders selling primitive goods while their ships recorded military data. "We have 300 colonies across this galaxy," Chen continued. "We have a fleet of over 1,500 warships. We have been preparing for this moment for 3 generations." Zekthon could barely process what he was hearing. "But your planet, your broadcasts, the wars, the pollution, the chaos," "Theater," Chen said simply. "We kept Earth looking primitive on purpose. We evacuated most of our population decades ago. The major cities were maintained by skeleton crews and automation. We knew someone would come for our system eventually, so we made it look like an easy target." She leaned forward. "Earth is not our homeworld anymore, Commander. It is our trap, and you flew right into it." Zekthon looked at his tactical display. The numbers were devastating. He had 500 ships. The humans had surrounded him with over 1,600. His vessels were designed for planetary bombardment and intimidation. Their ships were built for war. Real war. "Count your vessels, Commander," Chen said. "Count ours. Look at your escape vectors. We control all of them. Look at your weapons. Many are already disabled by our electronic warfare. You cannot fight. You cannot flee. You can only surrender or die." Vosh touched Zekthon's arm. "Commander, she is right. We are beaten." But Zekthon's pride would not allow surrender. "Not yet. You may have superior numbers," he said. "But the Confederation is vast. Our core worlds will send reinforcements. They will crush you." Admiral Chen's expression did not change. "Your core worlds are also surrounded, Commander. Right now, at this very moment, human fleets are in orbit around every major Confederation planet. We are offering the same deal to all of them. Surrender or die." She paused. "We did not want this war, Commander. But you came to our home. You threatened our species. You left us no choice but to show you the truth. Humanity is not prey. We are not victims. We are survivors. And we have been playing a very long game." The bridge of the Eternal Dominion fell silent. Every officer stared at the screens showing the vast human fleet. Ships as far as sensors could detect. All of them armed. All of them ready. Zekthon slumped in his command throne.
He had been a fool.
Worse than a fool. He had been arrogant. He had believed the intelligence reports. He had assumed humanity was weak. "How long?" he asked quietly. "How long have you been planning this?" Admiral Chen tilted her head. "Since the moment we invented faster-than-light travel, Commander. We looked at the galaxy and saw species like yours. Conquerors, empires built on subjugation. We knew that eventually someone would come for Earth. So we decided to be ready. Not just ready, overwhelming." She touched something off screen. "You have 1 hour to decide, Commander. Surrender your fleet and your crews will be treated well. Refuse and we will destroy every ship you command. The choice is yours." The screen went dark. Zekthon looked at Vosh, at Thelra, at his crew. They all knew the truth now. They had not come to conquer Earth. They had come to die. Unless they surrendered to the species they had thought was helpless. Zekthon sat in the detention cell aboard the human ship, UHNS Indomitable. The cell was clean and comfortable. Too comfortable. His captors were making a point. They did not need to be cruel. They had already won. Across from him sat a human interrogator. Not a soldier. A scholar. She wore simple clothes and smiled gently as she activated a holographic display. My name is Dr. Patricia Okonkwo, she said in flawless Zalthari. I am a xenohistorian. I study first contact scenarios. Your situation fascinates me, Commander. Zekthon said nothing. He had surrendered his fleet 6 hours ago. 312 ships had survived the trap. The humans had accepted their surrender and immediately began providing medical care and supplies. No torture. No executions. Just polite, efficient processing. It made Zekthon feel even worse. I want to show you something, Dr. Okonkwo said. The true history of human expansion. Perhaps it will help you understand what happened. The hologram activated. It showed Earth as it had been 83 years ago. Primitive satellites, early space stations, chemical rockets. This is when we invented faster-than-light travel, Dr. Okonkwo explained. A mathematician named Dr. Sarah Kimura discovered a flaw in our understanding of space-time. Within 2 years, we had working FTL drives. The hologram showed the first test ship. Small, experimental. It vanished in a flash of light. Our governments faced a choice. Dr. Okonkwo continued. Announce our breakthrough or keep it secret. We chose secrecy. Why? Zekthon asked despite himself. Because we had been listening to the galaxy for decades. Radio telescopes. Signal analysis. We knew there were other species out there. We knew some of them were aggressive. We knew that if we appeared on the galactic stage as a new, weak species, someone would come to conquer us. The hologram shifted. It showed human colony ships. Massive vessels disguised as asteroids and comets. They drifted through space, slow and patient, hiding in plain sight. We sent out colony ships immediately, Dr. Okonkwo said, not to nearby systems. Too obvious. We sent them to distant sectors, empty regions, places no one was watching. Over 30 years, we established 300 hidden colonies. Zekthon watched as the hologram showed human settlements growing. Underground cities on barren worlds, orbital stations disguised as natural debris, entire civilizations hidden from view. But that was just the beginning, Dr. Okonkwo said. We also sent out scouts, observers, spies. The hologram showed human agents. They wore disguises, genetic modifications, holographic projectors. They walked among Confederation species indistinguishable from natives. We infiltrated your worlds, Commander. For decades, we learned your languages, your customs, your military tactics. We studied every species in the Confederation. We even traded with some of you. Zekthon remembered now. Strange merchants from unknown worlds, traders selling primitive goods, curiosities. They had seemed harmless, eccentric, no one had suspected. Those were human spies? He asked. Every single one, Dr. Okonkwo confirmed. They gathered intelligence while selling you trinkets. They recorded your ship designs. They noted your patrol routes. They identified your weaknesses. The hologram showed something that made Zekthon's blood run cold. Human agents living on his own homeworld, walking the streets of Zalthari cities, working in Zalthari businesses. Some had been there for 50 years. We were everywhere, Dr. Okonkwo said softly. In your governments, in your militaries, in your civilian populations. Not to conquer you, just to watch, to learn, to prepare. For what? Zekthon demanded. If you were so advanced, why hide? Why not claim your place in the galaxy? Dr. Okonkwo's expression grew sad. Because we know what we are, Commander. Humans are not peaceful by nature. We have fought wars for thousands of years. We have nearly destroyed ourselves multiple times. We looked at species like yours, empires built on conquest, and we saw our own dark reflection. She touched the hologram. It showed human history, wars, genocide, nuclear weapons, environmental destruction. We decided that we would not become like you, Dr. Okonkwo said. We would not build an empire through force, but we also would not allow ourselves to be conquered. So we chose a third path. We would grow strong in secret. We would prepare defenses, and when someone finally came for Earth, we would be ready. The hologram shifted to show the construction of the Jupiter and Saturn battle stations. Decades of work, thousands of engineers, all hidden beneath false surfaces that looked like natural moons. We turned our entire home system into a fortress, Dr. Okonkwo explained. We spent 80 years preparing, building ships, training crews, establishing supply lines, all while keeping Earth looking primitive. But why? Zekthon asked. Why go to such lengths? Because we learned from history, Commander. Every time a strong civilization encountered a weak one, the weak one died. We refused to be weak. But we also refused to be bullies. So we became something else. We became patient. The hologram showed the human fleet in all its glory. Hundreds of ships at dozens of worlds. A military force that rivaled any in the galaxy. We built all of this in secret, Dr. Okonkwo said. 300 colonies. 1,500 warships. Industrial capacity that exceeds the entire Confederation. And we did it while you thought we were primitives who could barely reach our own moon. Zekthon felt a strange emotion. Not quite respect. Not quite fear. Something between them. What happens now? He asked. Dr. Okonkwo deactivated the hologram. Now you have a choice, Commander. Your fleet is captured. Your Confederation is surrounded. But we do not want to rule you. We do not want an empire. We want peace. Real peace. Not the peace of submission, but the peace of equals. She leaned forward. We are offering every Confederation species the same deal. Join us in a new alliance. One based on cooperation, not conquest. Or refuse and remain isolated while the galaxy moves forward without you. And if we refuse? Zekthon asked. Then you go home. We release you. We release your crews. We even return your ships, though we will disable their weapons. You can go back to your worlds and tell them what happened here. Tell them that humanity is no longer hiding. Tell them that we are here, we are strong, and we are offering friendship. She stood. But know this, Commander. If the Confederation attacks us again, we will not set another trap. We will not offer another surrender. We will show you what happens when humanity stops being patient and starts being angry. Dr. Okonkwo walked to the door of the cell. She paused and looked back. We studied you for 70 years, Commander. We know everything about you. Your strengths, your weaknesses, your fears. We could have destroyed you at any time. We chose not to. We chose to offer you a chance to evolve, to become something better than conquerors. She smiled sadly. I hope you take it. The door closed behind her, leaving Zekthon alone with his thoughts. Outside the cell, the human ship hummed with quiet efficiency. Somewhere on this vessel, Admiral Chen was planning the next phase of whatever plan humanity had been building for generations. Zekthon realized something terrifying. The trap at Earth was not the end of humanity's plan. It was just the beginning. The emergency council chamber on the Confederation capital world of Korvoth buzzed with panic. Representatives from 7 member species argued and shouted. The news from Earth had spread quickly. 500 ships lost. Commander Zekthon captured. The humans were not primitive. They were everywhere. Supreme Chancellor Vormix, a massive insectoid being, slammed his primary appendage on the council table. Silence, he commanded. We must respond with strength. Send the reserve fleets. Crush these humans before they can consolidate their position. With what ships? Demanded Ambassador Thelkor, a crystalline being who represented the Luminari species. The humans claim they have forces at all our homeworlds. Our scouts confirm it. We are surrounded. Lies, Vormix insisted. Propaganda. They cannot possibly have that many ships, can they not? Thelkor activated a holographic display. It showed human fleets in orbit around every major Confederation world. Dozens of ships at each location. All fully armed. All waiting. The council chamber fell silent. How did they do this? Whispered Administrator Kelvash, representing the aquatic hydran. How did we not see this coming? We did see it, a new voice said from the doorway. Everyone turned. A junior intelligence analyst named Kira entered the chamber. She was Zalthari, like Zekthon. She carried a datapad and walked with quiet confidence. Junior analyst Kira, Vormix said with irritation. This is a closed session. Then you will make the same mistakes that doomed Zekthon, Kira replied. She activated her datapad. I have been reviewing human activity for the past 70 years. The signs were there. We simply ignored them. She projected data into the council chamber. Trade records, immigration logs, diplomatic contacts. For decades we have had contact with humans, Kira explained. Merchants from unknown sectors, refugees seeking asylum, scientists requesting research access. We assumed they were scattered survivors from some forgotten colony. We never suspected they were spies. The council members leaned forward, studying the data. These merchants visited our shipyards, Kira continued. These refugees settled on our military worlds. These scientists studied in our weapons laboratories. They were gathering intelligence while we welcomed them. Impossible, Vormix said. Our security would have detected them. Our security did detect anomalies, Kira replied coldly. I filed 17 reports over the past 8 years. Reports about suspicious traders, about refugees with inconsistent backgrounds, about scientists asking unusual questions. Every report was dismissed as paranoia. She looked directly at Vormix. You dismissed them, Chancellor. You said I was seeing threats where none existed. The chamber fell silent. Vormix's compound eyes flickered with what might have been shame. Show us everything, Thelcor commanded. Kira projected more data. Human agents identified throughout Confederation space, not just merchants and refugees. Some had been embedded for 50 years. Some held positions in government, in military research, in intelligence services. They are in our infrastructure, Kira said. Yesterday, 17 major power stations across Confederation space experienced simultaneous failures. Officially, these were accidents, but the timing is suspicious. Sabotage? Administrator Kelvash asked. Almost certainly, Kira confirmed. The humans have been preparing for this moment. They have infiltrated our systems. They have mapped our networks. When they revealed themselves at Earth, they also activated sleeper agents across all our worlds. Ambassador Thelcor studied the data carefully. What is their objective? If they wanted to destroy us, they could have done so already. That is what troubles me most, Kira admitted. They are not attacking. They are waiting. Their fleets orbit our worlds but do not fire. Their agents sabotage our infrastructure, but do not target civilians. They seem to want something other than conquest. They want surrender, Vormix growled. They want us to submit. No, Kira said. I do not think so. I have been studying their communications. Their Admiral Chen broadcasts the same message to every Confederation world. She offers alliance, not submission. She offers cooperation, not conquest. Then what do they want? Thelcor asked. Before Kira could answer, alarms blared throughout the council chamber. A communication officer rushed in. Supreme Chancellor, we are receiving broadcasts on all frequencies, from our own member worlds. The Luminari, the Hydron, the Scorval. They are declaring independence from the Confederation. What? Vormix surged to his feet. They dare betray us. It is not betrayal, the communication officer said nervously. They say they were conquered by the Confederation centuries ago. They say they never joined willingly. The humans have offered them freedom and protection if they leave the Confederation peacefully. Thelcor stood. His crystalline body pulsed with complex emotions. The Luminari were conquered 200 years ago. We never wanted to be part of the Confederation. We were forced. As were the Hydron, Administrator Kelvash added quietly. Our oceans were invaded. Our people were subjugated. We have served the Confederation for 3 generations, but we never chose this. Vormix looked around the council chamber. He saw the truth in their eyes. The Confederation was not a union of equals. It was an empire built on conquest, and now that empire was fracturing. The humans knew this, Kira said softly. They studied us. They learned which species joined willingly and which were forced. They are not attacking those who were conquered. They are liberating them. Clever, Thelcor admitted. They are using our own history against us. Vormix's rage boiled over. Then we use our ultimate weapon. Activate the purifier. We will sterilize Earth and every human colony. We will show them the cost of defiance. No. Kira stepped forward. Chancellor, the purifier is a doomsday weapon. It will kill billions. It will ensure our survival, Vormix interrupted. He turned to his military commander. Send the activation codes. Target Earth. Fire the purifier. The military commander, a scarred veteran named Greltok, hesitated. He looked at Kira, at Thelcor. At the other council members, I refuse, Greltok said quietly. Vormix spun toward him. You refuse? I am your Supreme Chancellor. You will obey. No, Greltok replied. I will not commit genocide. Not for the Confederation, not for you. He removed his command insignia and placed it on the council table. I resign. Other military officers in the room did the same. One by one, they removed their insignia. They refused to fire the doomsday weapon. Vormix looked around in disbelief. His empire was collapsing. His military was refusing orders. His member species were declaring independence. You are all traitors, he whispered. No, Kira said. We are all tired of conquest. The humans have shown us something we forgot. There is another way. She turned to face the council. I propose we accept the human offer. We dissolve the Confederation. We allow member species to choose their own path, and we join the humans in building something new. Something better. I second this proposal, Thelkor said. As do I, Administrator Kelvash added. One by one, the council members agreed. Vormix stood alone, his empire crumbling around him. High above Korvoth, human ships waited patiently. They did not fire. They did not threaten. They simply waited for the Confederation to make its choice. Inside the council chamber, Kira sent a message to Admiral Chen. The Confederation Council is voting to dissolve. We accept your offer of alliance. We choose peace. The response came quickly. Welcome to the Galactic Cooperative. Let us build a better future together. Kira smiled. The war was over. Not with violence. Not with conquest. With choice. Humanity had won by offering what the Confederation never did. Freedom. 6 months had passed since the Confederation dissolved. Earth rotated peacefully in its orbit, its cities being rebuilt by volunteers from a dozen species. The planet had been a trap. Now it was becoming a symbol, a place where the old order had died and something new had been born. Zekthon stood in a garden on Earth's surface. Real soil, real plants. The air smelled of flowers he had never encountered before. It was beautiful. He had been given a choice after his capture. Prison or participation. He had chosen participation. Beautiful, is it not? Admiral Sarah Chen walked up beside him. She wore civilian clothes now. No uniform. No weapons. Just simple garments suitable for gardening. I expected to die in your prison, Zekthon said, or be executed as a war criminal. We do not execute prisoners, Chen replied. We rehabilitate them. Help them understand. Some species call it propaganda. We call it education. What is the difference? Zekthon asked. Chen smiled. Propaganda requires lies. We have told you only truth. She gestured to a bench. They sat together, an unlikely pair. Former enemies sharing space in a garden. I have been reviewing the history you showed me, Zekthon said. Your Dr. Okonkwo was very thorough. I understand now what you did, how you did it, but I still do not understand why. Why we hid for 80 years, Chen asked. Why you did not simply destroy us. You had the power. You had the element of surprise. You could have wiped out the Confederation before we knew you existed. Chen was quiet for a moment. She picked a flower and studied its petals. Because destruction is easy, she finally said. Any species can build weapons and kill. That requires no wisdom, no patience. We wanted to be better than that. Better? Zekthon clicked his mandibles skeptically. You manipulated us. Infiltrated us. Lied to us for decades. Yes, Chen admitted. We did, and we have debated the ethics of our actions endlessly. But consider the alternative. If we had revealed ourselves 80 years ago, what would have happened? Zekthon thought about it. The Confederation would have seen you as a threat. We would have attacked. Exactly. And we would have defended ourselves. And thousands, perhaps millions, would have died. Species would have been exterminated. Worlds would have burned. We prevented that war by choosing patience over pride. You also chose deception over honesty. True, Chen said. We are not perfect, Commander. We made difficult choices. We played a dangerous game. We told ourselves it was for the greater good. Perhaps we were right. Perhaps we were wrong. History will judge us. She turned to face him directly. But ask yourself this. Your crew is alive. Your homeworld is intact. Your species has a future. If we had chosen differently, would any of that be true? Zekthon had no answer. He had spent months thinking about this question. His pride demanded that he resent the humans. His logic forced him to admit they had been merciful. What happens now? He asked. The Confederation is dissolved. 7 species are trying to build this galactic cooperative you proposed. But old habits are hard to break. Old hatreds remain. Chen stood and walked to the edge of the garden. In the distance, construction crews worked on rebuilding New York. Humans and Zalthari and Luminari and Hydran, all working together. Now comes the hard part, Chen said. War is simple. You have an enemy. You defeat them. You win or lose. Peace is complicated. You have former enemies. You must trust them. You must build together. You must forgive. Can it work? Zekthon asked. I do not know, Chen admitted. We are attempting something that has never succeeded on this scale. A true alliance of equals. No dominant species. No subjugated peoples. Just cooperation. The Confederation tried that, Zekthon pointed out. It failed. It became an empire instead. Because the Confederation was built on conquest, Chen replied. Your foundation was violence. Our foundation is choice. Every species that joins the Galactic Cooperative does so voluntarily. And every species can leave if they wish. And if they become hostile, if they attack, Chen's expression hardened slightly. Then they will learn why we spent 80 years preparing. We built our fleet not just to defend Earth, but to maintain peace. We will not conquer, but we will not allow others to conquer either. She softened again, but we hope it never comes to that. We hope that by offering freedom and cooperation, we can build something lasting. A communication device on Chen's wrist chimed. She checked it and smiled. Speaking of cooperation, she said, we are making first contact with a new species today. The Velkari. They are in a neighboring sector. Early spaceflight, just developing FTL technology. Will you reveal yourselves? Zekthon asked. Or will you hide and spy on them for decades? Chen laughed. We are revealing ourselves, openly, honestly. We are sending a diplomatic ship with representatives from all cooperative species. No tricks, no deception, just honest first contact. And if they are hostile, then we will defend ourselves. But we will try diplomacy first. Always diplomacy first. She started to walk back toward the administrative buildings. Zekthon followed. Commander, Chen said. We are offering you a position. A role in the cooperative. Me? Why would you trust me? Because you learned, Chen replied. You came here expecting to conquer. You left understanding why conquest fails. That makes you valuable. We need voices like yours, former conquerors who chose to become cooperators. Zekthon thought about it. Return to his homeworld in shame? Or help build something new? What would I do? He asked. Help us with first contact protocols. Teach our diplomats about former Confederation species. Be an ambassador for the idea that people can change. They reached Chen's office. Inside, Zekthon could see maps of the galaxy. Human colonies marked in blue. Cooperative members in green. Unknown species in yellow. So much of the galaxy remained unexplored. So many possibilities. I accept, Zekthon said. But on one condition. What condition? Tell me the truth, all of it. What is humanity's real goal? You did not spend 80 years building an empire just to give it away. What do you really want? Chen was silent for a long moment. Then she activated a holographic display. It showed Earth, but not present-day Earth, ancient Earth, humans fighting each other, destroying each other, nearly exterminating themselves. We want to survive, Chen said simply, not just as a species, as a civilization. We nearly destroyed ourselves a dozen times. Nuclear war, climate collapse, biological weapons. We came so close to extinction that it terrified us. The hologram shifted to show humanity spreading across the stars. When we reached the stars, we found a galaxy full of species making the same mistakes we made. Conquest, empire, subjugation. We saw our own dark history reflected back at us, and we realized something. She turned to face Zekthon. If we want humanity to survive, we need the galaxy to survive. If we want peace for ourselves, we need to create peace for everyone, not through conquest. Through cooperation, we built the cooperative not to rule the galaxy, but to save it from itself. Zekthon studied her face, looking for deception. For hidden motives, he found only sincerity. You truly believe this will work? He asked. I believe we have to try, Chen replied, because the alternative is too terrible to accept. She extended her hand. A human gesture, an offer of partnership. Zekthon reached out and took it. Then let us try together, he said. Far above Earth, the first diplomatic ship to the Velkari prepared to depart. It carried no weapons, only gifts and messages of peace. Inside were humans, Zalthari, Luminari, Hydran, and others. Former enemies working together. But in a different hangar hidden from view, other human ships prepared for different missions. Scout ships equipped with advanced sensors, observation vessels with cloaking technology. They would follow the diplomatic ship at a distance, watching, recording, gathering intelligence, just in case. Admiral Chen watched the ships depart from her office window. Zekthon stood beside her. You are still spying, Zekthon observed. You are still gathering intelligence. Yes, Chen admitted without shame. We offer friendship. We hope for peace. But we prepare for war. That is the human way. Trust but verify. She smiled. We spent 80 years learning that lesson, Commander. We will not forget it now. The diplomatic ship vanished into faster-than-light travel. The scout ships followed seconds later, invisible and silent. Humanity had emerged from hiding. They had revealed their power. They had offered their hand in friendship, but they would never again be caught unprepared. That was the real legacy of Earth's trap. Not the victory. The lesson: always be ready. Always be watching. Always be 3 steps ahead. Because in a galaxy full of species learning to cooperate, someone had to ensure the cooperation continued, and humanity had decided that someone would be them, whether the galaxy wanted it or not.